Oh yeah, my name's Owen, and I'm here to talk about, for today's Monday Mercy video, the mercy of God in church when there are major changes to church. And I know that for many people, the experience of coming out of the pandemic has meant that there's been a lot of changes in church. It's changed us all in terms of our outlook. Perhaps it's changed our attitudes and what we believe about church, and it's changed many churches as well. And so a lot of us have gone through this experience, perhaps, of having to deal with major change in our experience of our local church. This is certainly true for me recently, and I think God has taught me a few things through this I just wanted to share with you, really. During the major change that I was going through in my church life, God really nailed me with a passage from Colossians 3, a very familiar passage, all about the mercy of God. But I'd recently been reading the New Living Translation for the first time, and the way that it was written in the New Living Translation just really got me in a new way. Let me read it to you. Colossians 3, verse 12. Since God chose you to be the holy people he loves, you must clothe yourselves with tender-hearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And it was that tender-hearted mercy, that phrasing, that really got me, because I realised something new about mercy, which is that it's possible to show mercy to people without a tender heart. And what I mean by that is, if we define mercy as kind of letting someone off the hook, or not giving someone what they deserve in terms of retribution or punishment or recompense for something they've done wrong, then it's possible when you've been wronged to say to someone, okay, that's fine, it's done, it's out of the way with, let's forget about it, let's move on. And maybe there's a dash of mercy in that, but how much is that really showing them the mercy of God in the way that God has shown us mercy? And the tender-hearted bit was the bit that got me, because you can't fake that. You know what I mean? You can't fake tender-heartedness. And so God just showed me that it's got to be something that happens in the heart. And what I learned was that only by an experience of the tender love of God for yourself can you really have that tender-hearted mercy towards others. The reason why this stuff's difficult is because when we go through big changes and difficulties, it's painful and it really hurts, and we can get damaged and hurt by the actions of others. One of the crazy things about church is that while many people, viewers of this video included, you might have experienced awful things at the hands of another human being or human beings, and that might have made you hurt and damaged because there might have been malicious behavior, there might have been cruelty, there might have been abuse. But sometimes what happens in church is that good people with good intentions can still nevertheless really hurt each other by their actions. And that's hard too. And we need this tender-hearted mercy to get us through. Just three really quick things that I've learned. One is that it takes time to get there. So give yourself a break if you've been through this, and if you're feeling this hurt underneath the surface, give yourself time. It takes time to get to the right place. Christians aren't averse to a bit of what they call toxic positivity these days. And that is where you jump to the positive outcomes, you jump to the positive answers without really engaging with the pain of the negative emotions. And it's easy for us to do that as Christians, because even reading verses like this, we think, oh yeah, okay, we've got to do this. Whereas actually you have to take space and take time to be ready to face the pain. And that's the second thing, face up to the pain. You've got to be courageous in facing it and actually putting it before God and being honest about it and lamenting it. And then the final thing is to be brave relationally, to move towards the other people, perhaps even the people involved that might have hurt you. Move towards them relationally, not away from them. Ultimately, with all this stuff, I think Jesus is more concerned with relationships than he is concerned with church structures and whether a particular type of church or particular strategy is successful. Relationships are the business of church, and Jesus prayed for us to be united. And so that's why this stuff is so important and it's worth fighting for. Well, God bless you. And I pray that you can go through this journey and find tender-hearted mercy for yourself and others.